Hello, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome and thank you for joining. Let me pull up my chat here, make sure I'm not missing anything. But anyway, welcome. So today is our April 16th edition. I kind of cut my intro down a little bit, get right into it because I kind of have a lot to talk about today. So hopefully everyone can hear me. If you're catching me on the replay, which I think anyone that watches probably will be, thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it. You can spend your time on the internet anywhere, and you're choosing to spend it with me, and I really appreciate that. So, anyway, today we have a few things to talk about. I'm pretty excited about it. I am going to be talking about a little bit about some of the current events, and then I'm going to be switching gears a little bit and talking a little bit about real estate and maybe looking at a few videos of interior design, things like that. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope it's going to be a lot of fun, of course. So anyway, let's dive right into it. Let's see. You'll have to bear with me as I learn what I'm doing here. Isn't that professional? Anyway, so today we have quite a few things to go over. And one of the things, just a moment, my apologies. There we go, something a little bit more relaxing. So, of course, the big talk this week in royal news is, of course, the Sussex visit to the Queen, their secret visit. They managed to sneak in and they managed to visit the Queen without anyone being the wiser. So I think that was pretty impressive, honestly. I think a lot of people didn't see that one coming. Clearly, it seems like the British media is very angry about that and kind of upset that they weren't clued into that whole thing. Definitely contradicts that idea that they are doing all of this for, I don't know, for attention or whatever. Because obviously, if they really wanted to have attention, they would have probably just shown up at the airport or something. But they did it really quietly, really privately. So I think, I don't know. I don't know what that means. But the big talk, of course, on both sides, from what I can tell, of course, there's always two sides, of course. But the big talk that I'm seeing from both sides was this visit leaked? Was it not leaked? Of course, the Sussex squatties, aka sugars, depending on which side you're on, they all seem pretty convinced that, in fact, this was not leaked. No one knew about this in the press. However, I do have a little bit of a different opinion on that one. So one of my weird, personal hobbies that I've always had, or not weird, but one of my guilty pleasure hobbies that I've always had is to follow gossip, especially celebrity gossip. And so I always read blind items, and I've done this for years. It's just something I do when I'm bored. And I remember at the end of March, there was a blind item that was pretty obviously referring to the Sussex family. And it did seem to hint that someone was aware that there was a visit being planned. Now, I will show you what I'm talking about here. So this is one of the places that I tend to go to when I'm looking for, a little celebrity gossip, not the TMZ type, but kind of like, it's really guesswork, I think, a lot of the time. Sometimes I think it's just straight up made up. So I'm not saying that this is definitive proof of anything, but I just find it very interesting that this was on March 29th from Blind Gossip. And I won't read the entire thing to you. I did leave a link in the description of this video if you want to go check it out for yourself. But I will get to kind of the meat and potatoes of this blind item, which is this. The quote here from the source is, quote, "They absolutely need to keep that association with his family. They know they are nothing without it. To that end, they are working on a way to keep that association forever. The gesture has to signal that they are being respectful and genuinely care about the family. However, they will be the only ones deriving any benefit from it. So that was the direct quote, which in my opinion has kind of a lot of editorialism to it. I'm not entirely sure that that's a completely fair analysis, but I do think that it's pretty obviously referring to the Sussexes and their, you know, impromptu visit. Maybe the respectfulness was there, not making a public spectacle out of that. I think that that's justified. I think not justified. I think that was a smart move on their part. I think if they had come in with guns blazing, wanting to get pictures taken of themselves, then it would definitely be seen in a different light. The royal family might feel a little bit exploited and like they're being used to gain publicity, especially for the Invictus Games, but also, just for that couple themselves. And I know that the royals have talked about not really appreciating that they get used as a commodity or to be commoditized. I can't say that word, but essentially they don't want the royal part to become part of the brand. And I can kind of see you don't want to cheapen the crown and the royal brand. So I think by not announcing this visit, it makes it a lot more personal, and I think harder to criticize, although the British press has absolutely done that anyway. They've definitely been criticizing them for everything. So but I feel like that kind of is what always happens for them. It's no matter what they do, they get criticized for it. So there's no winning really for them, I don't think. But anyway, this is just an image I thought was really cute for them from this morning. So I believe today is the opening of the Invictus Games. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm really bad at keeping up with that. I'm not really a big sports person, but I guess they spent some time driving around in mini Land Rovers, which I think is super cute. You can tell they're having a good time, although I think Meghan looks a little nervous with her driver there, but it still looks like they're having a good time. So anyway, just wanted to kind of open with my opinion on that, because I know there's been a lot of discussion on, was there a leak? Was there not a leak? In my opinion, I don't know if I'd call it a leak. It sounds like this visit was known about, but not necessarily hyped up. And so because they don't want to hype it up, I've decided I'm not going to hype it up. So let's go ahead and move on. Oh, I forgot I do have something to share. I thought it would be kind of fun to add some transitions to the videos. So I did. Let me just cue that up. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. That was my little transition video. It probably played a little too fast, but hopefully if I play it again, it'll work a little better. So I see we have someone in the chat. So we have someone here live. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to view it live. I assume most people are going to end up seeing this in replay, and that's totally fine. So hello, Meow Mix. Good to see you. We are just getting to our second topic of the day, which is going to be, we're going to be roasting this god-awful building that has been put up and talk a little bit about some of the scandalous stuff going on with that building. So what kind of prompted me to talk about this was there's the big news that the Sussex family may be looking for a home in New York. And I know there's a lot of people speculating that they're going to be getting more political, and this is about moving close to the UN. I kind of think it's more about being closer to Europe. Maybe we're going to be seeing Harry more in the UK in the coming weeks and months. And it would make more sense to have a home base in Europe rather than, or I'm sorry, on the East Coast to fly back and forth to Europe rather than from LA. That's my personal opinion. But the one thing I know for certain is that they will not be buying something in this apartment building. That's for sure. Because this apartment building is extremely scandalous. And I remember when it was first going up, and you had the famous pictures of the egg toilet that they actually, or not egg toilet, toilet, listen to me, egg bathtub that was in that square window. And they actually call it the egg bathtub. So I'm not being mean. And it was beautiful view. I won't take that away from it at all. But I remember thinking the interiors were not my taste. And then once this building actually opened, I guess there's been a lot of scandal as far as, well, let me just see if I can pull up the information I have. So I have a little video here of some of the interior and exterior shots here. But according to the New York Times, the condo board is already suing. There's been a $125 million lawsuit because of all of these damages, floods, faulty elevators. Can you imagine being in a building that tall with elevators that don't work? Really loud noise from the building swaying. And I know that they put these breaks in between the they put some breaks in between some of the floors to kind of let some of the wind through. There's a couple floors in between the residences that are empty, or not empty, but they have no windows in. And so the wind is supposed to be able to go through. And I guess that was supposed to be a feature, like a good feature, to make it quieter, but it ended up making it louder. And also, I guess there's been 2 explosions since the building has been there, which is not very long, which is, I think, if that was just a regular kind of middle class building, that would be pretty unacceptable in my opinion. But to be buying a multi-million-dollar apartment that has explosions in the first couple of years, that, imagine you have a flood. I can't imagine, what would you do in a flood in a skyscraper? I don't even know. That does sound terrifying. Oh, definitely. An egg toilet. I'm trying to imagine what that would even be like. It kind of reminds me of, that seat that Will Smith sat in Men in Black when he was taking the test. It looked like an egg. He had nowhere to write on. Like, I feel like you would definitely fall into an egg toilet. So this place is a disaster. And so what caught my eye this week was the fact that I guess the most expensive penthouse in the country is at the top of this building. And so I figured we could take a look and see what would that entail. What does the most expensive penthouse in the world, or not in the world, in the United States, look like? So I'm going to play this without any sound, because I don't want to get in trouble with any kind of copyright stuff. But so right now I'm looking at this. Am I the only one who thinks this is kind of hideous? Like, so this place is $169 million US dollars. Much. You can see, like, they know it's not the nicest looks out. Yeah. So I just wanted to take a look at that, because I was curious what will the most expensive place in Manhattan look like. And it definitely confirms for me. Now, one of the rumors I've heard, and I highly recommend, there's a video, and I can't remember the exact name of it, but there's a video on YouTube that talks about, and it's from an actual expert who talks about why this building exists, the kind of people who are buying it, and why most of these buildings in Billionaire Row are empty. And it's kind of similar to the reason that wealthy people exchange artwork. It's a way, supposedly, maybe to I don't want to say launder money, kind of, though. It's a way to, well, from what I've heard, for some, like, let's say oligarchs from a certain country were to want to make an investment with money somewhere in the West without having to put money in a bank or put cash, that sort of thing. So it's kind of it's an investment place. So I guess that's why it exists. Hold on. Let me just, So allegedly, supposedly, let me just put that out there. Allegedly, supposedly could be more of a investment type of thing. So Yeah. So that was just something I was really curious. Obviously, with it being that ugly, I just can't imagine that anyone would live there. Although it really kind of reminds me of a really nice hotel, like a high-end hotel maybe, or like a VIP lounge kind of thing. But it would need to be redesigned. But I will say those windows are really cool. If it was a prettier building. At one point in the video, the guy mentions looking down at the Chrysler building, and it's like, yeah, I look down at a building that isn't hideous. But it would be cool to look down at the Chrysler building from your home. So I could see that as a big sell for people. So anyway, I just thought that was really funny. And definitely don't expect to see any of the royal family living in this place anytime soon. But you did get a really fantastic view of the park. So I could see maybe if you just stayed in New York, but imagine spending $169 million for like a place to stay when you come into the city. Unbelievable. So I'm going to be keeping this live stream short today because I have a bit I have to do later today, but let's get on to my upcoming plans. In the coming future, I have just ordered the book Lady in Waiting by Lady Glenconner, and she was a lady in waiting to Princess Margaret, who's kind of infamous for being scandalous and sharp-tongued and a bit snobby. So I look forward I think this is going to be a fascinating read. Anne Glenconner is already a fairly accomplished writer. I think she writes like mysteries and basically mysteries and things like that. I haven't read any of her fiction books, but she's mostly written fiction. And I guess she felt inspired to write about her life and times with Princess Margaret. And you might be expecting this to be super prim and proper, but I'm really expecting, like, I'm going to give my impressions before I read it from what I know of this person. I think this is going to be a raucous read. From what I know about her, or anyone that spent time around Princess Margaret, she was a pretty wild child. So it should be fun to. Oh, wait, I forgot. Oh, no. Okay, sorry, I just had to do that because it just, I'm going to do it again. We got to get down. All right, let's go back. Sorry, that makes me laugh every time, that dance. It's classic. So I'm expecting this to be really interesting. I'm going to do a review of it in a few weeks once I have a chance to read it. I wanted to get a good paperback copy so I could actually hold on to something. But I wanted to share why I'm looking forward to this. I'm just going to share a quick video. I'm hoping that the YouTube gods allow me to play this video, which is Lady Glenconner when she was on the Graham Norton show. I think it was promoting this book, and she tells one of the stories. So I'm hoping that all of the stories are like this. This is kind of what I'm looking forward to. I'm going to play it for you right now.
Oh, I've got a great treat for you. So I was absolutely thrilled. I thought dinner at the Ritz, And I put on my best dress, all that sort of thing. We got into the car. And I did rather see, I saw the
Let me know if you can hear it.
Away, but off we went to the outskirts. And we stopped at this really seedy hotel. My heart sank. I thought, up we went to this room, and there were two seats. They were wing-backed velvet seats. And so I sat, and on the bed were two really disgusting people making love. I was just squelching about, and I didn't know what to do. So I sat back in my chair, closed my eyes, and I simply didn't want to look at Collier. I didn't know what he was doing. And anyway, I sat there, and then they kept on saying, "Would you like to join in?" And I said, "Well, look."
There we go.
Oh, I've got a great treat for you.
Oh, no.
So I was actually
Hold on.
velvet seats. And so I sat, and on the bed.
Here we go.
were
Sorry
two
about that.
Really disgusting people making love. Sort of squelching about. And I didn't know what to do. So I sat back in my chair, closed my eyes, and I simply didn't want to look at Colin. I didn't know what he was doing. Anyway, I sat there praying, and then they kept on saying, "Would you like to join in?" And I said, "Well, look, it's very kind of you. Very kind of you. Terribly kind of you. But I really don't. No, thank you."
So I am hoping to get some. Oh my God, yes, I love Graham Norton, Father Ted. He's absolutely hilarious. His reaction is great. I love that they have the cast of The Crown sitting next to them. She's horrified. Olivia Colman is horrified by this story. So I have high expectations of this being just filled with scandalous stories, hilarious stories. She's hilarious. Really, really, really entertaining. So I'm hoping to have some good stories and some good stuff to report. Oh, my dog is in the background whining about something. Are you hungry? Yeah. So this one, I'm just going to keep it kind of short, just around half an hour today. Really, really glad that you stopped in and checked it out. I can't wait to have a little bit more content going forward. I know today's or the next few days, the Invictus games will be going on. Unfortunately, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to watch it from here, but if anything exciting happens, I will definitely be on top of that. We will talk about it next week. I can't wait to get into some of the Princess Margaret stuff. I personally really enjoy talking about history a little bit more than the present, because I think it informs what's going on in the present. I think, I just think it's interesting to see where they've been and where this family is going. I think what's interesting about studying monarchy in a way that we can't study most families is that we have so much information about them. And one of the things you can kind of learn is how things change from generation to generation, how the generations influence each other. I actually think it's really interesting to just follow and see how things develop in families and how people throughout generations kind of rebel against each other, but also sort of relate to each other, and how things are very cyclical. And I just find it really interesting. And I think some of the stuff going on today with some of the modern royals definitely has a lot to do with people like Princess Margaret, who came before and forged a scandalous path through their lives. And I think I might also do a video on her relationship with Roddy Llewellyn. That was kind of because I found out that he's actually a distant cousin of mine. We share a few ancestors. So I definitely want to get into some of that more scandalous stuff from history, and then maybe go back a little bit even further into history. I don't want to go too far because there's so many great people that talk about things like Tudor history. But I just want to talk about maybe some of the lesser known people. If you did miss it this week, I put a couple videos up, a couple silly videos, but I did do one video about a little bit of history, talking about the funeral of Edward VII and the scandal of Edward VII, and also the sex chair of Edward VII. So if you missed that, definitely check it out. It's on my channel, and that will hopefully be linked at the end of this video when it is on replay. So I hope you enjoyed. If you're watching this on the replay, I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. I will catch you again in 1 week, same time at 2 p.m. Eastern. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you very much. Bye.